And to talk about ads for a second, because you said you buy a lot of ads, I'm sure people come to you a ton with this and they're like, hey, we've got something, blow it up. And like the reality is all you're doing, it's good in the sense of like traffic moves, right? And like all you're doing is pointing it somewhere. So an ad campaign is only showing you how good or bad your thing is. Like it's about the conversion on the page. It's about the conversion on the product. It's about the brand loyalty. Like you're doing a great job on products that are great. And you're foreseeing some products that honestly kind of suck. And they're going to tap out over here. But that's just the truth.
Welcome to the Viral by Design podcast with Dave Rotherow, where we get inside the minds of today's leading viral marketers as they reveal the exact strategies they use to build brands, products, and campaigns that are magnetic to customers, spread like wildfire, and seize the attention of millions. This is Viral by Design.
So welcome to another episode of Viral by Design. Very excited today to be joined by Los Silva. He started his business career selling stuff back on eBay before being unceremoniously kicked off. Undeterred, he started setting up his own e-commerce outfits online. So aside from helping multiple businesses scale to 7 and 8 figures, to summarize in a sentence and cut a long story short, he's now got Disney as one of his clients. So Los, safe to say your backstory is a bit of a proverbial middle finger to eBay, right?
Yeah, man. I didn't know what I was doing. So when I got, it was an algorithm change is all it was, but I didn't know what that was. I was like 20 years old. So I was like, I guess that doesn't work anymore. We gotta find something new. And I had made some good profit, especially at my age. And I just kept it. And so I just kept trying to truck along and trying to figure out new things. And so I was able to do that.
That's awesome. So what were you selling back on eBay? Was it dropshipping, and how did you get started out doing that?
Yeah, I was dropshipping at 20, and that was a long time ago. That was like 15 years ago. So I was dropshipping Crown Victoria cars, like actual cars, and video projectors. They were called InFocus 750s. I just kind of started messing around on eBay. I saw that there was a good market for that. And I had about $400 to $800 margin between both. And that was huge. I mean, that's high ticket dropshipping, really what it was. I just didn't know. I didn't know any terms or anything. It was brand new to me. And I just kept moving. And from there, I started doing electronics because I saw that electronics had a very high margin. And I ran that until I was actually just doing too well in eBay. And so they kind of kicked me off.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's the symbol of a true entrepreneur that you managed to turn it around and figure something out. So what happened next? Like, where did you go from there?
So from there, I actually didn't do stuff online anymore. I had built a pretty good line of, I was a rep for a lot of high-end electronics. So I became a distributor because I realized, man, if I become a distributor, they'll give me the minimum price, and I can sell that on eBay. So I became a distributor of a lot of different electronic companies selling high-end speakers and TVs and video projectors and stuff like that. And so when I got kicked off, I just had all these resources. And so I started cold calling and just buying magazines and just calling people. And I started an electronic integration business. So what that means is I was doing custom homes. A custom home normally will put $40,000 to $50,000 worth of electronics in their house, like a new build. And back in the day, in like 2007 and 6 and 7, that was killing it. Obviously, the market again hit in 2008, and then I was out of money and out of business because you put the money in, you get the stuff, and then you basically get it out. And so from there on, I moved into trying to do things again on the internet, and I actually just jumped into trying to build more stores online and trying to learn how to. I went to an event and I learned that these dudes in a hotel room sent out an email, and they were like, "Hey, what do you have?" I was like, "I can teach LinkedIn," and they're like, "All right, cool," because I knew LinkedIn. They're like, "All right, we're going to add this in, and we're going to give you a percentage of it." I was like, "All right." And so in this little room in like a Ramada Inn in North Carolina, like dingy trash, like not a good place. They're like, "All right, we did it." And like within hours, they're like, "All right, so we made 20K. We're going to give you 5K. And I was like, for what? What do we do? And they're like, "Oh no, we just sold all this and did all this." And I was like, "What? That's crazy." And that's what got me into like really learning how to do digital products plus e-commerce. And that's kind of like where I've been for the rest of my life now.
That's awesome, man. And that's a crazy. It's crazy how the internet marketing world works, right? You just get those little pockets of people who just like suddenly you start firing off money. It seems like magic, right?
It is magic because, like, I mean, still to this day, most people, when like my family and friend, like older friends from like high school and stuff, they ask me what I do. They say like, "Oh, you do like IT, right? Like you fix computers?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, that they don't get it. They don't get it, and they can't imagine like that this is a thing."
Yeah, 100%. That's cool, man. That's a really, really cool backstory. So are you still drop shipping now, or are you purely?
No, so we only build brands from scratch now. Yeah, and well, we take equity. So I do a lot of e-commerce. I own a few stores, and then I have a business partner. His name's Josh. I was at Josh Snow on the internet, and so Josh and I have an incubator, and we take companies that are doing $1 million to $2 million a year. We take equity in them, and our company helps grow them and scale them, and we try to sell them within 24 to 36 months, or build a significantly positively revenue business, right, where we can take distributions and kind of start growing that out. Then we have a mastermind, and then we do consulting and stuff like that.
That sounds really exciting, man. So do you think it's still a viable option for people? Because it seems like dropshipping right now is just getting so saturated, and market sentiment about people having to wait for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks to get products and all that kind of stuff. It seems like it's just a sea of problems and crappy service delivery. Do you think it's still a thing? You think it's still worthwhile getting into?
It's definitely still a thing. I got plenty of friends that only drop ship and are doing millions a month. It's not our thing. To us, it's like, that's a lot of work. And so if I start drop shipping this bottle, right, all I have is this bottle. There's nothing really unique or anything, maybe a little bit of branding, but now you can drop ship it and everyone can drop ship it. If it's working, like, everyone's going to copy it, and then you're going to work with the support, and there's no real brand equity in there. So there's no real reason to buy from me because I'm nothing special, right? And so that's why we think about building brands and using things as channels. Like Facebook is a channel, YouTube is a channel, Amazon is a channel, direct response, like, or QVC, Target, all these other opportunities, Walmart online, they're all channels. And your social media is your other channel. Like, you have to think about everything. So if you're going to put in all that work, you might as well have something that you can have another year and another year and another year. I'm older now, so I don't think about quick money. I think about how can I make slow money and have huge results later on, because I'm more so set in a lot of different ways, right? So like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of this, and I've lived that in my life. And that's not fun. It's not feasible for me. I got 2 kids and a wife. I don't have time to be messing around.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, it sounds like a really exciting thing that you do, taking brands and, they're already in $1 million. You already know that they're doing something, So, and then you're taking them to like significantly bigger. So, and what you said there about channels, like, I know that's a huge thing that people just think, oh, I need more traffic, I need more people, I need more eyes on my store, and I'm just going to make more money. And then they don't fix the real core of the business. So it sounds like you're doing a lot more than that, right? You're actually building a brand. So what does that process look like when you start working with somebody here?
So someone comes in, they're usually, doing pretty good. The huge glaring problems tend to be that their social media is poor. They don't do email marketing well. They're doing some email. No one really believes in email because everyone's been taught now that drop shipping is just like make money, throw money on Facebook, get your returns, and then do it again. And it's like you're wasting a list. We try to get 30% of revenue from all of our companies to come from email, even though email's dead, right? And that's net revenue. We do a lot of SMS marketing. No one has SMS marketing set up the right way. And so with that, like, that's a lot of your net profit is actually going to come from email and SMS, right? A lot of your growth is going to come from leveraging influencers. So we do a lot of influencer marketing. We do it a little bit different. I used to own and sold brands when I worked with influencers, but now we just kind of hire them and use their business page to get more growth for us, which gives more brand recognition, because no one really wants to buy a logo. They want to buy from people they know, especially now with influencers. They want to buy people they like and trust. There's a lot of stuff going on TikTok where you can pay people, they'll do some lives, and you can get sales from there. You can have people do lives that swipe up. And then you can build your pixel, and then you can kind of, get a better cost per impression, better cost per acquisition inside of the things that you're doing to get them back into email, to get them back into subscription. A lot of times people have very little SKUs. So they've had success, but they have 1 or 2 products because they're trying to keep all the money instead of saying, hey, what makes more sense? How can we build more lifetime value? If it's a face cream, do we have a cleanser? Do we have a moisturizer? Do we have a serum? Oh, it's just a face cream and it's just a mask. Well, they need these other things. If not, they're going to get it from someone else. And if the other person has the other products, they're probably going to leave us because we don't have a balanced SKU set to try to sell people, right? Are you doing more channels? Normally, again, everyone's just doing one. They're not testing brand terms on Google, which is very simple. Build your brand up by having brand terms, or bidding on brand terms that are people similar to you. They're not doing videos on YouTube. They're not doing Amazon. They're not thinking at all about like, hey, how can we go connect with other places and get distribution? We talk a lot with, we've got companies we've helped get in Walmart and in Target and QVC and stuff like that. And those are resources that are available. It's just no one thinks about that because everyone's always thinking about that one quick hit. But it's just dopamine, man. It's just like a little drug addiction. You're just going and that's all you want, and then you want it again, but like that's not long term, and for us, like, we have to build brands that are long term, because we'd rather make a little bit and have a big sale of a company and make millions off that sale, rather than just like, say we made 50, 100K net like these months and then nothing because everyone copied you and everyone else copied us. Now we're competing against ourselves 10 times over, and we don't have any real reason why anyone should buy from us than to you, because it's the same product at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely do, man. And it's fascinating. It's something which, so many people overlook, especially, I do ads all day, every day, and people come to me, looking for more traffic all the time. And it's like, well, have you considered this? Have you considered email? Have you considered, as you say, SMS? Messenger marketing, all these huge things. They've got massive click-through rates. I'm intrigued though about your email campaigns, because with a store, I mean, you've got like a small suite of products. They're all within, say, we're talking face cream and moisturizers, these kind of things. What does that email sequence look like? Is it like a daily? Is it a weekly? Like, how are you keeping the content relevant so you're not getting unsubscribed and you're keeping people happy?
So you're going to get unsubscribed. So what we do different is that we do a lot of content marketing, and we basically, obviously, you want to build out your flows, your browse abandonment, your cart abandonment. You want to get that into text messaging as well, so you can start building that list. But when it comes to flows, like a lot of people just send sales. What you're doing is you're basically becoming a sale brand. I'm not going to engage with you unless you have a sale. And so what we do is content marketing. So we educate. Let's say we send an email about a face cream, again, right? Just kind of stick in that topic. And we're going to tell you why hyaluronic acid mixed with vitamin C is like the best thing that you can do for your face if your face is sunburned because it's the summer, and how to take care of it. So you're going to click on that. We're going to get good clicks on that. You're going to click on that, and then we're going to send you to almost like a content piece / advertorial. And then at the bottom, it's just going to show you like, hey, this is the best bundle. This is this. So some of our emails can do $8,000 to $10,000 when we send them in. We don't even have links to buy, because we're educating people. So you're getting engaged. That also helps with your SEO, which is a long-term play as well. But if you're going to do all this, we got to play for the long haul, unless you want to test products, and you can do that with like dropshipping and test a few things and then start to build something that makes statistically good sense because you have a good average order value and you can acquire that with a low CPA. Sure, then test it for that. But overall, you have to start thinking like, okay, what are we going to do long term? And to talk about ads for a second, because you said you buy a lot of ads, I'm sure people come to you a ton with this and they're like, hey, we've got something, blow it up. And like the reality is all you're doing, it's good in the sense of like traffic moves, right? And like all you're doing is pointing it somewhere. So an ad campaign is only showing you how good or bad your thing is. Like it's about the conversion on the page. It's about the conversion on the product. It's about the brand loyalty. Like you're doing a great job on products that are great. And you're foreseeing some products that honestly kind of suck, and they're going to tap out over here. But that's just the truth, right? Everyone, and I say this to educate people, when they hire media buyers and they try to hire agencies and stuff like that, it's not on us or on you to make your product better. It's on you to make your product better. It's on you to split test your pages. It's on you to make variation of pages to specific audiences so you can test that inside of different audiences on Facebook or in different channels. You're just going to point, you're going to be smart with how you're making your creatives, and you're going to build out multiple creatives so you don't get ad fatigue. And you're going to be scaling offers, and that's where like our skill sets come in. But overall, like it's a combined relationship here. Like you can only do so much. They have to be thinking, well, how do I increase my average order value? What's my next SKU? What's an order bump that I can create here? How do I get them on another email sequence? Am I doing SMS? Hey, I gotta blended draws with this much lift because we did these other things together. Now you have room to spend $3,000-4,000 more dollars a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. We're very careful now about or very selective is the word actually, about the kind of clients we work with, because exactly that, we spend too many times trying to work with people, trying to force things that just don't work. And Thankfully now we've got the nicest people you could possibly imagine for clients and the kind of people who really do go that extra mile. But it's so true, man. It's like it's pouring, great ads are pouring gasoline on the bonfire, but you got to have the spark right?
Right, 100%.
Yeah. So you've spoken about like multiple different traffic sources. You've spoken about Facebook, about YouTube, about Amazon, about all these kind of different things. You've also spoken about email marketing. It sounds like you've got a lot of a decent amount of clients there on board as well. So you must have a team looking after all this, right? How does your team look and work?
Yeah, so we have multiple companies, and so like our main kind of hub is we have a direct response agency for personal brands, and that is one team, and then we have the team that kind of Josh and I have, which is the Powerhouse team, and that's all e-com based. So overall, there's about 30 people here and there. It's kind of distributed because of COVID. So it used to be all inside of one office. And now what we have is we have kind of like the leadership office, and there's about 8 people here, and we don't hire anybody else out here. So everyone else is local to wherever they are and their surroundings and stuff like that. So we have people that are in Jacksonville, Florida. We have people that are in Russia. We have people that are in Memphis, Tennessee. And it's just kind of all over the place distributed, which has made it better because we're actually I used to really love having that culture in here, but I realized that we can get more talent by going to the best person in Tennessee. And we just hired a guy, like I said, from Russia. The dude's an animal, right? And I would have never had that opportunity if I would have been like, no, we have to hire here. So it's all distributed, and then we have kind of like pods of specific people that work on specific brands, and then there's leadership that kind of runs specific divisions as well. So like there's a leader on traffic for personal brands. There's a leader on traffic for scaling. There's a leader on email marketing for both. And there's a leader on, page funnel design, copywriting, all that. So they kind of like have their little tiger teams so we can consistently keep creating and keep iterating. Because a lot of this really at scale, it's all about testing new things. You got to beat your control and you got to beat your creatives.
Got it, yeah. And so when you're looking to acquire new talent, say for example, the next TikTok comes out, would you look to build an internal team that would do that, or would you at this stage just be looking to acquire a company that already does that and bring it in-house?
So we've done both. We've done both last year, and I started it by just acquiring talent that didn't know anything about internet marketing and teaching them all this stuff, and those actually turned out to be the best people here. But now, just because of time, as we grow, you can't just get a solo beginner, because that takes time from your media buyer. That means that you're doing less working, more teaching, and they're going to have hiccups. You don't know all that. So we now like to work with people that are somewhat, skilled and kind of understand the landscape, kind of understand who the players are and like how things work. So we can really kind of put fuel onto that fire, so to speak. We did acquire recently a social media agency. And so that's been great to kind of like have that team that already knows what they're doing and stuff like that. But overall nowadays, we just try to hire people that have, not like top, because then they have a methodology that is theirs. And they're like, you're wrong, I'm right. And we're very team focused here. Like we're all, the only answer, like it's a big thing here. The only truth is the data. The only answer is the data. Like, I don't care about my opinion. When I see the page and everyone's like, how do you feel about it? I'm like, I don't know. Let's put money behind it. That's the truth. That's the only truth that stands inside of this kind of a business, right? Your opinion is irrelevant unless proven right by statistical significance.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. So what's your big goal for 2021? What are you most excited about?
Man, so we just acquired a company that was doing about $1 million, and we just made some strategic initiatives in that business, and I think that's going to be an 8-figure business for us this year. So I get excited about that, because we also now have all the manufacturing and stuff, so we'll be able to do more, because when we acquired it, like it's a frame business, so they do frames, images, pictures, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be able to expand that a pretty big amount. So I think that's very exciting. And honestly, we launched the mastermind about November last year, a few months ago, really. And that's been blowing up. And it's for people that are doing, a couple $100,000 to a couple $1 million a month on e-commerce. And that's been a lot of fun for us, like just getting to work with people that are really doing it and growing. It's becoming a thriving community. And so that's probably the thing that's more passion based fun for me. Like I love talking to that kind of person. I'm not very good anymore at like working with beginners and like that kind of stuff, just because it's so simple to me. I'm like, oh, you got to do this, or you got to suffer the consequences and wait and see how things happen, right? So if you have something moving, like I like to jump into that because we can make it grow a lot faster.
Yeah, 100%. That sounds fantastic, man. The mastermind. So if people are listening, how can they find out more about that? How can they get involved?
You can just DM me at Los Hustle, and then I think that and I'll send you a link because it's like go.php and stuff like that. So I'll send you a link so we can show everyone else. But my Instagram is at Los Hustle. So if anybody wants to just come inquire, come talk about it, happy to help.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for sharing the time and your wisdom with us. It's been fantastic. Really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Pleasure, man.
This has been the Viral by Design podcast with Dave Rotherow. For more viral marketing secrets and to get detailed cliff notes on all episodes, visit viralbydesign.net.